Today is June 17th, 2026, and 11 years ago, 9 people were massacred at Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina.
The members of a church Bible study group killed one by one in a racist rampage last June. Sanders was at the Bible study with her aunt, Susie Jackson, her 11-year-old granddaughter, and 26-year-old son, Tywanza.
I remember my son saying, "Mama, he shot me in the head." And I was telling my son, I said, just lay here, just lay here.
Dylan Roof was a carrier of white supremacist anti-blackness. He believed that black people are essentially a threat to civilization.
Why did you have to do it?
Well, I had to do it because somebody had to do something. Because, black people are killing black people every day.
As he shot parishioners at the church, which was a late-night Bible study, he told them he had to do it.
And then, I heard Ruth say that he had to do this, and he walked out the door.
And unfortunately, Charleston was not an isolated tragedy. It's a part of a long, painful history where black churches and sacred spaces of faith and resistance have been targets of white supremacist violence. All too familiar is the 1963 bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham. 4 young girls, Addie Mae Collins, Denise McNair, Carol Robertson, and Cynthia Wesley were killed. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s eulogy of 3 of the 4 girls really highlighted the sorrow and pain that black families felt across the nation. But for white supremacists, members of the Klan across the country, it was a moment of celebration. In 1996, a wave of arson attacks tore through black churches across the South, dozens destroyed, and acts of hatred. In 2019, 3 historic black churches in Louisiana were set on fire in just 10 days. And for generations, these attacks have tried to silence faith, community, and hope. Recently, before Congress, FBI Director Kash Patel was asked about the Charleston church shooting. In light of the FBI's investigations into what they call Antifa extremists and black identity extremists, the FBI under the Trump administration has been completely disinterested, it seems, in interrogating what we know statistically, numerically, and in terms of empirical effect and impact, that white supremacist violence is the greatest threat to peace.
So Dylan Roof, who followed white supremacist propaganda, murdered 9 black parishioners in Charleston in 2015. Do you deny this?
I'm sorry, Dylan Ruth?
Roof,
can you give me some more information?
You're head of the FBI, you probably know this. If you don't know, that's fine.
If you can give me a reminder, I've got a lot in front of me.
In 1963, white supremacists bombed the 16th Street Baptist Church. A church became a crime scene because hatred demanded it. In 2015, at Mother Emanuel, the same thing happened. A church became a gruesome crime scene because hatred demanded it. These are not isolated acts. They're part of a pattern that sees black gathering, black faith, black life, black people, black joy as a threat. And that ideology has not disappeared. It evolves, it organizes, it thrives in silence, it thrives in denial, and it lives in the American bloodstream through complacency. What happened in Charleston is not just history, not in the ways that people think of history. What happened in Charleston is embedded in the blood and bones of American politics. For as long as this nation has been around, it has endorsed forms of slavery. and it has rested upon anti-Blackness. Ignoring it won't stop it, because white supremacist violence is not past. It's present, it's future, it's persistent. It bans books, it erases trans lives, it steals away Black people. At the end of this week, we'll be remembering Juneteenth, celebrating emancipation. It's important for us to also consider what happened at Charleston this week, to remember, to hold dear this very true lesson of African American history, that emancipation was a legal process, but freedom, that's a process of the soul, and the soul of America is chained to white supremacy and anti-Blackness. Unfortunately, that's been the case since its founding, and if the evidence shows us anything, it will continue. We are still not free. Freedom is on a demand of us more expansive imaginations, new ways of thinking about how we relate to one another, the deconstruction of a world that hates us. And I don't know what's going to happen in the wake of all of that. But I don't want to live in a world where Charleston happens again. Unfortunately, I think that's exactly the world we're currently living in and the world we're continuing to build. It's something to think about.
Like and subscribe.